A new Protestant minister was sent to a small-town church. One day he was walking down the street dressed in his black suit and collar, looking very much like a Catholic priest. The minister passed a group of Catholic children who said, "Good morning, Father." After he had passed by, one of the boys said, "That ain't no father. He's got 3 kids." There are many ways of being fathers. Today we celebrate all the fathers of the world. Some of us have children of our own, our physical children. Others of us are fathers in a more spiritual way. I have no children of my own, yet thousands call me father. All of us are called to be fathers in some way, to share in the fatherhood of God. Many of us remember the funeral of President Kennedy in 1963, along with a famous photograph of his 3-year-old son, little John John, standing at attention at the funeral procession and saluting his dead father. After the president's funeral, his little boy went up to one of his father's associates and asked, "Are you a daddy?" The man admitted that he was. Little John John said, "Then will you throw me up into the air?" The little boy didn't understand what had happened. All he knew was that the man he called Daddy was no longer there, and there was no one left who could throw him into the air as his daddy used to do. We are told that Jesus was moved to pity at the sight of the crowd because they were troubled and abandoned. Jesus' heart was moved to pity, not for this vast, faceless, nameless crowd, but for each troubled and abandoned individual. He was showing something of the Father's love God has for us. God's love is not a love for a faceless, nameless crowd. God's love is for you and for you and for you and for me. When God sees us troubled and abandoned, His heart is moved with pity for us, as the heart of every father would be. All of us need a father to lift us up. And it doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter if the one doing the lifting is older or younger than us. It doesn't matter if it is a man or a woman, relative or stranger. And we are all called to be fathers. No matter who you are, you too are called to share in that loving fatherhood of God. You too are called to lift someone up and throw them a little higher perhaps than you have reached. We owe so much to our parents, and from our fathers we receive so much. I was fortunate enough to inherit my father's beautiful blonde hair. Some of you spend a lot of money to get it to this color. Unfortunately, I also received my father's hairline. We receive something physical from our parents, but we receive so much more than that. From our parents, we also receive some of our spiritual and emotional conditions. When he was young, my father was a rather rebellious type, and I have been told that maybe I inherited just a little bit of that. We receive much from those who were living before us, from our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors. They are responsible in great part for who we are, and we have them to thank for some of our best characteristics and perhaps for some of our less desirable traits. generations made us into the people we are today. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I do not know who my grandfather was, but I am much more concerned with what his grandson will turn out to be." And it is up to us to take what we inherit and make it into something our own, something unique, something great. When we are most in need, a Father always appears on our path, no matter how disguised. When another is most in need, we are sent to meet them on their path. And both helper and helped are lifted up, raised to the heights by the simple sharing of the love that is God.